Hello. To start off, I'm going to ask a question. What if I were to tell you, let's say last June, that the end of your school year would be cut short and you'd have to go home due to a worldwide pandemic? What would you think? Now, I'm sure we all know what the coronavirus is at this point. That's why I'm giving this speech through this online instead of in person, sadly. Now, to put this into perspective, there's over 400,000 cases in the U.S. right now, but actually 168,000 of those are in New York City alone. And that was shown on worldometers.com in April of 2020. Now, in terms of our current lives, we are getting closer and closer to that certain graduation point that we've all been working for years for our whole lives. And this is putting our dreams in the balance here, not just economically, but socially. And for this reason, I want to persuade you that we need to take matters into our own hands to stop the spread of this virus and help out our country. Social distancing is the key here. Now, social distancing is defined as keeping space between each other, whether that be inside of your house or outside of your house. Now, this differs from physical distancing because physical distancing is person to person. Social distancing is social groups. They're similar, but not the same. Now, to review, in the 2009 U.S. Office of Pandemic Swine Flu, this showed that 1.8 billion people in the world died in 1918 due to the original flu, and that over 500,000, a little over 500,000, were in the U.S. This shows that without government intervention, then this can be worse. This virus is not unprecedented. Now, to speak on negative effects of government intervention. Government spending is through the roof right now with things in coronavirus, with things such as pop-up hospitals, and even ships that house people when they're sick. Now, according to the New York Times article in April of 2020, the naval ship Comfort is failing majorly. One doctor calling it completely a joke. It has a capacity to hold over 1,200 patients, while only currently having 3 patients on board. There's 1,200 staff members there without a job, helping people. Now, we are paying for this. This is tax money. And according to the Motley Fool, says as U.S. citizens, we pay over $10,000 in taxes every year. Now, I know, for you and me, we're going to keep paying for this for years to come, and we're all students here. And undoubtedly, we're going to be paying for this for years on top of our school, something we could prevent, and we can prevent. Now, the CDC says the people least at risk are the younger ages, 18 to, 35, around there. But 31% of the cases are 60 and older. However, they account for more than 50% of the ICU admissions and 80% of the deaths from this disease, showing that we should not only be trying to social distance for ourselves, but our loved ones. We're killing plenty of people. Now, to talk on this again, we can revisit the story of James Vigil I talked previously about. He was the man from West Virginia that could have easily prevented him being the first case in West Virginia by simply practicing social distancing. Now, not to say he infected other people, but I'm sure if he had it and was denying this because of stigmas in place, he likely infected other people. And that could have easily been prevented with things such as social distancing. Now, not everything is perfect. Social distancing does have its weaknesses. In the article that I mentioned earlier, will coronavirus lead to martial law? Martial law does make people feel safer and feel like there's some more order in place. Now, realistically, This option will just cost us more money, and it may prevent the spread of the virus, but we can do that ourselves. We don't need to be paying extra money for someone to help us with something we should be doing ourselves. To conclude, we can easily prevent the spread of the coronavirus without government interaction. I hope that I've persuaded you and anyone listening that you as citizens should discourage this and take matters into our own hands for the safety of not only ourselves, but our loved ones. Now, I'm going to revisit the question I asked to end off. Now, if I were to tell you, if this were to happen a year ago, 2 years ago, would you have believed me? Thank you.